Let me ask you something straight. Do you honestly believe that taking care of your body ends at dinner? That once the sun goes down, the work is done? Because if you're over 65 and still thinking your health is only about what you eat during the day, then I have news for you. The real healing, the repair, the recovery, the detox, actually begins when you close your eyes at night. But here's the catch. Your body can't do that healing properly if your liver's overloaded, your fat cells are inflamed, or your blood sugar is all over the place. And the truth is, a lot of seniors in Europe and North America are suffering from poor sleep and silent liver issues without even realizing it. But what if I told you the solution might be sitting in your kitchen right now, just a spoonful away? I want to tell you a story. Last summer, I met Thomas, 72 years old, retired engineer from Glasgow, lived alone since his wife passed, and had always prided himself on being independent. Sharp mind, still liked to fix old radios, and had this calm, patient voice. But he told me something that stuck with me. He said, "I didn't know my liver was in trouble until my sleep turned to stone. Not pain, not weight gain, not even fatigue. It was sleep." That was his first warning sign. He'd wake up every hour, tossing and turning, couldn't stay asleep, couldn't dream, and every morning he felt like he'd been run over by a truck. Foggy head, no energy, and slowly this belly fat started creeping in, even though he hadn't changed what he ate. Now here's the part that matters. Thomas didn't run to the pharmacy. He went back to something his grandfather used to do. A little bedtime ritual he hadn't thought about in years. 1 spoonful of extra virgin olive oil mixed with lemon juice. That's it. He said his grandfather, who lived to 94, used to take it every night after dinner. No excuses. And so Thomas tried it. He mixed half a tablespoon of cold-pressed olive oil with half a tablespoon of fresh lemon juice. Took it 20 minutes before bed, and within 2 weeks, everything started changing. His digestion eased, his mind slowed down at night, and he started sleeping 6, then 7 full hours without waking. 3 months in, his doctor told him his liver enzymes had improved, and his cholesterol dropped. That's not magic. That's science catching up with elderly wisdom. You see, olive oil contains oleuropein and polyphenols, compounds that reduce inflammation and help the liver process toxins. Lemon juice adds vitamin C and citric acid, which stimulate bile production and help flush out waste. Together they create a gentle detox, not harsh like a cleanse, but subtle, quiet support for the hardest working organ in your body. And when your liver gets a break, your whole system breathes easier. Fat starts to release. Blood sugar evens out, and yes, your sleep deepens, because your body finally gets the signal it's safe to rest. This isn't theory. In a 2021 study from the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition, older adults who consumed olive oil daily had lower markers of liver stress and better sleep quality. And a meta-analysis out of Italy found that lemon's antioxidant activity significantly boosted liver function, especially in aging population. But it's not just about the nutrients, it's about the ritual. Thomas told me he'd sit by the window each night, sip his mixture slowly, and say to himself, "This is for the version of me I want to be tomorrow." That kind of care, that's senior health with intention. That's motivation with roots. Now I want to introduce you to someone else. Lucia, 77 years old, lives in Montreal. Soft-spoken, silver hair always in a bun. She reached out to me because of constant bloating, stubborn belly fat, and a strange stiffness in her joints that wouldn't go away. Her daughter, who's a holistic nutritionist, told her to stop chasing expensive pills and start looking at what the body truly needs, and that's when she gave her mother a simple glass with 1 spoonful of apple cider vinegar and a teaspoon of raw honey stirred into warm water. At first, Lucia hesitated. She'd only ever used vinegar in the kitchen, but she gave it a try, and within a week, her stomach calmed. She said, "I could finally button my trousers again without holding my breath." But more than that, her sleep shifted. No more waking up drenched in sweat, no more restless legs, just calm, solid rest, like she remembered from years ago. Here's why it works. Apple cider vinegar contains acetic acid, which improves insulin sensitivity, stabilizes blood sugar, and supports metabolism while you sleep. Honey, especially raw and local, provides natural enzymes and small doses of glucose that feed your brain overnight, allowing for a smoother transition into deep REM sleep. Add the fact that it helps your body produce melatonin. Now you've got a remedy that doesn't just help you fall asleep, but helps you stay asleep and wake up feeling ready. And it's not anecdotal. A study published by Arizona State University found that vinegar at bedtime significantly improved morning blood sugar levels in pre-diabetic adults. That means more energy, less fat storage, and reduced risk of metabolic disease. Lucia now calls it her nighttime tonic. 1 spoonful in warm water, 30 minutes before bed. That's all it took to reset her system. She didn't change her whole life. She just added something that made life feel lighter. This is what we talk about on Elderly Reflections. This is what life lessons from the elderly look like in practice. Quiet changes, gentle rituals, and a belief that no matter how old you are, your body is still worth taking care of. So before we move on, I want to ask you one question, and answer it honestly. What are you giving your body before bed? Is it something that heals you, or something that harms you without you even knowing it? Because if your answer is nothing, or just a snack, then it's time to rethink. Just 1 spoon, taken with intention, can shift the way you sleep, the way you digest, and even the way you wake up in the morning. You don't need to change your whole diet. Just change your last act of the day. 1 spoon of olive oil and lemon, 1 spoon of vinegar and honey, and watch what happens. And we're just getting started. Next, we're going to reveal an ancient root that's been used in monasteries and mountain villages for centuries. Something that doesn't just clean your liver, but also supports your memory, joints, and mood. You probably have it in your kitchen right now, but you've never used it like this. If this has helped you, I want to hear from you. Let me know in the comments, where are you watching from? The UK, Canada, maybe Germany or the Netherlands? And if you believe in the power of elderly wisdom, in staying strong and sharp as you age, then please like this video, subscribe to Elderly Reflections, and tap the bell so you never miss the next story. Because this is more than health advice. This is about reclaiming your strength, your clarity. I promise to tell you about an ancient root that's been used for generations, not just to support the liver, but to protect the joints, calm the nerves, and even clear the fog that creeps into our thoughts as we age. You might already have it in your pantry right now, hidden in a drawer or forgotten at the back of a shelf. It's golden, it's earthy, and when taken at night, it becomes one of the most powerful allies for senior health. I'm talking about turmeric. Now, before you tune out and say, oh, turmeric, I've heard of that, let me say this. Most people have no idea how to use turmeric the right way, especially not for the kind of deep, overnight healing we're after. You see, it's not just about sprinkling it on food. For it to actually work on the liver, brain, and joints, it has to be taken with fat and with pepper. That's why ancient traditions from India and the Middle East always combined it with milk and a touch of black pepper at night. They didn't have clinical trials back then, but they had wisdom. And now, science is finally catching up. Let me tell you about Joyce. She's 81 years old, lives alone in a quiet cottage outside Devon, England. She's the kind of woman who still sends handwritten letters and keeps her garden perfect even in winter. But she told me something a few months back that nearly broke my heart. She said, I'm tired of feeling like I'm fading. She wasn't talking about death. She meant her mind. She was forgetting names, struggling to sleep. Her knees ached, and she started to feel disconnected, like the world was moving too fast and she couldn't keep up. Her doctor prescribed her pills. She took them. Nothing changed, so she turned inward. She remembered her mother, who used to warm up milk with turmeric every night when Joyce was a child, especially during cold seasons, or when someone in the house was sick. And she decided to try it again, this time with purpose. Every night at 9 p.m., she warmed up a cup of oat milk, stirred in half a teaspoon of turmeric, a pinch of black pepper, and just a little honey for taste. She called it her evening peace. After just 2 weeks, she said something shifted. Her thoughts came easier, her knees hurt less when walking down the garden steps. But most of all, she slept through the night without waking up even once. For the first time in years, and a few months later, when her daughter visited, Joyce was able to recite an old Irish poem from memory. She hadn't done that in over a decade. Now, if you're wondering if there's proof behind this, let me share a little with you. A 2018 study in the American Journal of Geriatric Psychiatry followed older adults who took a curcumin supplement. Curcumin is the main compound in turmeric, and after 18 months, those adults had better memory, better attention span, and less buildup of harmful plaques in the brain. That's not folk remedy, that's modern validation of elderly wisdom. And let's talk about inflammation for a second, because this is one of the silent killers for seniors. We don't feel it like we do pain, but it's there, causing slow damage to the liver, stiffening our arteries, fogging our memory. Turmeric helps reduce that. But again, it's got to be absorbed properly. A cup of turmeric milk with fat and pepper is how you make sure your body doesn't waste the benefits. You sip it slowly, let it settle into your system, and you let it do the work while you sleep. But I know some of you are thinking, that's great, but I'm not into drinking milk at night. That's okay, because I've got another spoon for you. And this one comes from the forests of Maine, where I met a retired park ranger named Lewis. He's 75, lived most of his life hiking mountains, tracking wildlife, and living without a smartphone. Louis told me he started noticing his thoughts slipping. Simple things like forgetting the word for a flower he'd known all his life, or misplacing his keys every other day. It scared him, not because of pride, but because his father had passed away with dementia. And he said, I don't want to go out like that. So what did Louis do? He turned to blueberries. Every evening, just a small bowl, sometimes fresh, sometimes frozen, right before bed. Nothing fancy, just 1/4 cup of wild blueberries with a spoon of plain Greek yogurt. Within 2 months, Louis told me something I'll never forget. He said, it's like someone opened the windows in my brain. He remembered names faster, his focus returned, and he even felt more creative. But more than that, he started sleeping better. Not just longer, but deeper. He said his dreams were coming back, clear, vivid, peaceful. Why do blueberries work so well? Because they're rich in anthocyanins, compounds that repair and protect brain cells from oxidative stress. A 2016 study out of the University of Exeter found older adults who consumed blueberry juice had improved blood flow to the brain and better working memory. Another trial showed that just 12 weeks of blueberry supplementation improved brain function in people over 60. And when combined with healthy fats or probiotics, like yogurt, those benefits are even stronger. Now, I know some people think fruit at night isn't good, but this isn't a sugar bomb. It's a therapeutic dose. It supports your memory, calms your nervous system, and helps your body wind down. And let's be real, for seniors trying to stay sharp, this is one of the simplest, most delicious tools you've got. So now we've added turmeric and blueberries to our nightly toolkit. But there's one more I want to share today, and it's not a root or a berry. It's a leafy green, one that many seniors overlook, but that could quietly be the missing link in your sleep, blood pressure, and liver detox, all at once. I'm talking about spinach. Now, I know nobody craves spinach at 9 p.m., but hear me out. Just a small handful, maybe in a mini salad or lightly sautéed with olive oil and garlic, can transform the way your body rests. Spinach is rich in magnesium, a mineral that regulates blood pressure, supports your heart rhythm, and calms your nerves. And guess what? Most people over 65 are deficient in magnesium without even knowing it. That's why they struggle with restless legs, poor sleep, anxiety, or even sudden nighttime palpitations. I met Maria, 69 years old, originally from Spain but now living in Arizona. She told me her blood pressure was creeping up and her doctor wanted to start medication. But Maria asked for 3 months to try the food-first approach. She added a small spinach salad to her dinner. Just a handful of baby leaves with olive oil and a boiled egg. She called it green peas. Within 8 weeks, her blood pressure normalized. She slept deeper. And her doctor, amazed, told her to keep doing exactly what she was doing. That's what happens when you trust your body and feed it the right way. So many seniors think the answer is more medication. But often the answer is more intention. Olive oil and lemon, along with apple cider vinegar and honey, are powerful ingredients that gently cleanse the liver and help reset your system. 3 more have been added. Turmeric milk to ease inflammation and support brain health, blueberries to boost memory and sleep quality, and spinach to calm nerves and regulate blood pressure overnight. These aren't fads. These are life lessons from the elderly. Proven, personal, and deeply human. We're going to pull all of this together. I'll show you how to build your own evening routine step by step. What time to eat, what portions to take, and what not to do before bed if you want your liver and your brain to truly repair overnight. And trust me, some of the mistakes we'll cover are ones nearly every senior makes, without knowing the hidden cost. But before we go, I want to hear from you. What are you eating before bed? What do you want to try from tonight's episode? And most importantly, where are you watching from? Whether you're in the US, the UK, Germany, Ireland, or anywhere else, your voice matters here. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Elderly Reflections, and ring the bell so you don't miss the next chapter. Because this isn't just about food. It's about dignity, motivation, and honoring the wisdom we've earned. 1 spoon, 1 night, 1 choice at a time. There's something sacred about the stillness that settles over your home at night. The phone finally stops ringing, the dishes are put away, the news is turned off, and for a moment there's quiet. If you're over 65, living alone, or maybe just moving a little slower these days, you probably know what I'm talking about. That gentle pause before bed, when your body is tired but your mind is still wide awake, that's not just a feeling, that's a signal. A signal from your body asking, will you help me heal tonight, or make me fight through another restless sleep? 6 powerful bedtime spoons have been uncovered. Olive oil with lemon, apple cider vinegar with honey, turmeric milk, blueberries, spinach, and a reminder through stories that small choices become even more important as we age. But here's the truth most people miss. It's not just about what you eat, it's when, how, and why you eat it. That's the difference between just surviving the night and waking up feeling alive. Let me tell you a story about George, 82 years old, retired dentist, lives in Vermont. Quiet man, loved puzzles, jazz, and a good riddle. But after his wife passed, everything changed. He stopped caring about dinner. He told me, I'd eat whatever was easy, crackers, toast, sometimes just a glass of wine. He felt dizzy in the mornings, his blood pressure fluctuated, and worst of all, his memory began slipping. One evening, his daughter came to visit. She's a nurse, sharp as a tack. She found his fridge nearly empty and asked him, Dad, what are you eating at night? He shrugged. Does it matter? She looked him in the eye and said, it matters more now than ever. That night, they built a new habit together. A simple night a spoon of yogurt with blueberries, a cup of turmeric milk, 6 walnut halves, no screens, no sugar, just quiet, nourishment, and maybe a little jazz, playing low in the background. 3 months later, George sent me a letter. Handwritten, neat. He said, my sleep is deep again. My thoughts come easier, and I feel like I'm showing up for myself again. That to me is what elderly reflections are all about. Not looking back in regret, but moving forward with purpose. So let's talk about how you can take all this and turn it into action. First, timing. Your body needs about 90 minutes to properly process these healing bedtime spots. That means the ideal window for your final snack or drink is between 7 and 8:30 p.m., depending on when you plan to sleep. Eating too late doesn't just disrupt digestion, it pulls energy away from your heart, your liver, and your brain when they need to be in repair mode. Next, portions. Bigger isn't better here. You're not feeding activity, you're preparing for restoration. Here's a simple guide to keep it clean. Olive oil and lemon, half a tablespoon each, mixed and sipped slowly. Apple cider vinegar and honey, 1 spoon of each, in warm water, no later than an hour before bed. Turmeric milk, 1 warm cup, with pepper and optional honey or cinnamon. Greek yogurt, 1/4 cup with berries or walnuts. Blueberries, 1/4 cup is enough, fresh or frozen. Spinach, a small salad or sautéed handful. No heavy dressings, rotate these through your week. You don't need all 6 every night. Choose 2 or 3 that feel good. Let your body speak, the wisdom you've earned at this stage in life. It's not about doing more, it's about doing what matters. But just as some things help you heal, others quietly hold you back. So let's talk about the common traps. First, sugar. That little cookie, toast, or just a bite of cake before bed, it spikes your blood sugar, then crashes it, causing stress hormones like cortisol to surge just when your body is trying to rest. It also inflames the liver, especially in older adults who are more sensitive to metabolic shifts. Replace that with warm milk and turmeric or a few walnuts, and you'll feel the difference in days. Next up, alcohol. Now I know a glass of wine at night feels relaxing, but studies show alcohol disrupts deep sleep, increases nighttime heart rate, and has been linked to memory loss when consumed regularly before bed. If you do drink, keep it to early evening and never use it as your sleep aid. And then there's hydration. This one's tricky. Staying hydrated is essential, but too much liquid late at night leads to frequent bathroom trips, disrupted cycles, and even falls due to postural hypotension. Try sipping warm water between 6 and 8 p.m., but keep liquids light after that. And now, perhaps the most overlooked piece of this whole conversation, ritual. Food is not just fuel, it's self-respect, it's how we speak to our body without words, a small tray, a quiet seat, a bowl of yogurt, a warm cup. This isn't about diet, it's about dignity. There's an 86-year-old woman in Minnesota, Marianne, who started this exact evening routine after watching one of our videos. She emailed me last week and said, "For the first time in a decade, I fall asleep with peace. And I remember my dreams again." That's what nourishment can do. That's what senior health can look like. Real, lived, embodied, and the benefits go far beyond sleep. When seniors commit to these small, consistent rituals, we see reduced inflammation, better blood sugar, lower cholesterol, stronger immunity, sharper memory, and perhaps most importantly, independence. Because the longer you sleep well and think clearly, the longer you stay mobile, purposeful, and you. That's the heart of everything we talk about here at Elderly Reflections. Not trends, not fads, but stories, backed by science, told by people who've lived enough life to know what really matters. People like George, like Maria, like Thomas and Joyce. They didn't chase perfection, they chose intention. So tonight, before you close your eyes, I invite you to ask yourself, what did I give my liver today? What did I give my heart? What did I offer my brain to help it carry me through tomorrow? Because these organs, these systems, these miracles inside us, they're still working hard even as we sleep. They deserve care. They deserve quiet, healing spoons filled with wisdom, not chemicals. Ritual, not rush. So start small. Maybe tonight it's just the yogurt and blueberries. Tomorrow the turmeric milk. The next night a little spinach with dinner. Let each spoon remind you, you are not done becoming who you're meant to be. There are still chapters left. There are still sunrises waiting for your smile. And before we end, I'd love to hear your voice. Where are you watching from? Are you in France? Scotland? Do you? Tell me in the comments. This isn't just a channel. This is a family. A global one sharing stories, lessons, and quiet strength that can only come from age. If this video helped you, inspired you, or reminded you that healing is always possible, then please like it, subscribe to Elderly Reflections, and hit the bell so you don't miss our next episode. Because every night is a chance to begin again, and every spoon you lift with care is a promise to your future self. Here's to your liver, here's to your sleep, and here's to the quiet, powerful dignity that lives inside you. Still,